What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and typically we feature a beer of the week. As you know, we've been slacking on the supernatural content. However, good news, we're back on it. It's our New Year's resolution, right? The world may be falling apart as though we're actually in an episode of Supernatural, but we're going to sit here and we're going to talk it today. We have two fantastic guests, amazing artists, one of which has won a Nerd Initiative Cheersies with us, who you might know. And if you're reading Monster High from IDW, you would definitely know who they are. So Caroline and Katherine Shuda are with us. I'm drinking real quick a nice New England IPA. It came from Milford, Connecticut. Shout out to Stacy. And it's called Benji. I don't know why I picked this one. It was just like the first one I grabbed. So normally we try to theme. I didn't do that. Lauren had to go grab a beer. She's still opening it up, so we'll let her get back in a second. But what's up, guys? How's it going? Thank you so much for coming to talk Supernatural with us.
I could talk Supernatural for days and days.
It's one of those things that I never, like my first time doing a trip. I was with you, Katherine. I didn't finish the show. I was halfway through. We did a MegaCon Supernatural trivia panel, and I was like, I have no business being up here. Did not know anything, but now I finished the show, and then half the time I'm like, wait, I still need to rewatch it. I can see why people rewatch it. So I know Katherine hasn't finished, but Caroline, have you gone back and rewatched the show at all since finishing it?
Yeah, so what happens is Katherine rewatches it the most without ever finishing it.
Where did you stop though? Like that's the real question.
You just don't watch the last
time? So I didn't watch the last time, but most recently I was watching it while I was working on Monster High. So if you actually like go through some of the comics, I can tell you like what episode I was watching when I colored this page. Which is kind of funny,
so fun.
So cool.
Yeah. Last time I finished season 8 and I was starting season 9. And there are so many episodes that rewatching it this time, I fully didn't remember. I was like, when did this happen? I don't know this one. Like one of the ones in season 1, and you'll probably like know which one I'm talking about. I don't remember what the episode is. It might be like episode 3 or 4. It's like really early on. It's like weirdly violent compared to all the other ones. It's like the tone is so dark. And I don't remember that episode at all. I was like, where did this come from? So rewatching it, there's so many things that like you get the second time around that you didn't get the first time. They're in season 8. The girl, like Sam's girlfriend, Amelia. I was like, who is? Okay, thank you. I was like, who is this? Like, who is this woman? And are you guys familiar with South Park?
Yes.
I watched the new season, but yeah.
Do you know in early South Park, the episode with like the shop teacher and he has the dead wife flashbacks and he's like,
and she's like, catch me, Richard.
I was like, this is literally what I'm watching right now. It had like the like daylight, like blur filter on it. And she's like, Richard, I'm here just now. I was like, this is what I'm watching right now. And this is not Supernatural. I don't know who this woman is. Like,
hilarious. So I listened to the Then and Now podcast, which is Chuck and Gabriel, and they're on season 8 and they relentlessly mock the Amelia flashbacks. They're like, oh, Sam's just going to look at a door and be like, oh, Amelia had a door. And then they flash back.
I don't know why I want to keep thinking of Night of the Roxbury.
So because Lauren, you said you didn't know the South Park episode. I need you to like look up like Richard Dead Wife South Park and watch it. That's what I'm getting from
right now for you, Lauren.
Please. Well, I always have a whiteboard because people will recommend books and movies and shows, so I'm going to write it on my whiteboard.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute clip compilation of this like frizzy-haired woman going, "Catch me, Richard," or like, "Watch me fly, Richard," and she's like on a swing. And every time Katherine brings up Amelia because she's on season 8, I say nothing except for "Catch me, Richard."
That's amazing.
Because that's all it is. Because like, where did it come from? With like what Katherine was saying about rewatching Supernatural, and also the fact that she never finishes it. Basically, my way of rewatching Supernatural is just whenever I see Katherine watching it, I'm like, oh, I guess it's time.
There you go.
And then I just like hop in.
That's kind of similar because Lauren got the season 1 on DVD, and because the music is different. And so anytime we go to her house, I go down to Orlando. It seems like every other month or every month at this point. And every time we go there, we start it from episode 1 for some reason. and we get like 3 episodes in, drinking beers, and then we all fall asleep or something, and repeat every single time. So I think I've seen the first 4 episodes of season 1 the most, and every time Lauren's like, "Oh, we're starting to rewatch," and that's where it stops. It's like,
well, and every time I have a supernatural happy hour too with friends, we end up putting it on, and yeah, so that's the only DVD that goes in there, other than like an occasional Christmas one that we can't find streaming somewhere. So that just permanently sits in the DVD player.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, before we go too crazy, I feel like we need to get some comic book origin stories, because I could just totally go down the wormhole of Supernatural and never come out.
Okay, my comic book origin story, like how I got here.
Well, we usually start with just geek origin story in general, which always seems to just naturally flow into a comic creating origin story.
Geek origin story, it would probably start with when I was a child and we got a PlayStation 1 from our neighbor who was going to college, and Final Fantasy VII was like the game he gave it to us with. And we were like 5, and we were like, well, probably a little older than 5, but we were like, I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea what this game is, but I love it. And so, yeah, it started from there. That's also why we're console gamers.
Thank you. I don't play PC at all. I can't get into PC gaming personally. Only mine was a PlayStation 1, but they gave me Resident Evil, and I was like 6 years old. And
yes,
God,
and then we also got
scared the shit out of me.
Hill.
Oh yes,
we got Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and we were like in the 4th grade, and we were like, "This is it."
It's like we should not be playing these games at this time, but also it explains a lot not going on, right?
Yeah. So I think always kind of a bit of a freak since day one. But like
I'm going to add to this a series of unfortunate events. We were those kids that read those books, because there were people.
I read those books.
My oldest read them.
Yep. So I think that was another like kind of like quirky thing that we were really into. But then also being around each other, and we were triplets, so we have a third sister, and we would always like, one of us would find something. Like I got into Twilight when I was in middle school, and then I'd share it with my sisters. So that was like, that's how it is with Supernatural too. It's like I got into that and I share it with my sister, and I think we are each other's origin story as well. Like as far as nerdy stuff goes,
yeah.
I mean, that way with comics.
Yeah, and then we also we didn't have cable TV growing up, so it was really like we're going out to the library and finding like random shit and being like, this looks great, and it would be like Death Note. I'd be like, this looks sick.
Yes.
I'm reading Death Note and I'm like in the 4th grade. And then I'm fighting with my sisters about who gets to read the next volume. Like it was very much just like I'm going out of my way to find new media as a child and not really understanding what the scope of media is or even what the media I'm finding is. But a lot of the time it was always just like, this art looks really pretty. I really like this. So I'm going to read this. I have no idea what's going on, but I love it. And I think that's kind of been a trend for like our whole lives is I have no idea what this is, but it's pretty, so I love it.
But that's like the best part is everybody looks at covers and everything like that too. That's how I base half the things that I read or grab or whatever is all.
Only there was a saying to negate that.
If only,
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Oh, I was like, wait, what did I miss?
It was a joke.
I was like,
but yeah, with comic books, that's
pretty.
Part of it. Yeah, I think with comic books, you absolutely can do that. With actual books, obviously, it's a little trickier, but I still think that they should put in some effort because, yes, people absolutely will pick a book based on the cover.
I got into like the book series that kind of shouldn't be named these days by a certain like author that lives in England. So like, it was the magical world and all that stuff and like the covers and whatnot. So kind of getting into all those kind of things, did you guys just pick up, because you both are just killer artists. How did you guys get into drawing and coloring and then working your way up to doing stuff like Monster High?
Catherine,
I'm going to let you go first. Yeah.
Okay.
Because ours it's different, but then it kind of like converges.
Oh.
So like our grandmother was a professional artist. And she was also like our parents' art teacher. And so I like to think that maybe that gene, like that inherent, like I'm drawn to art was passed down.
Yeah.
But we kind of like took it to a new level especially as kids, like consuming media, and like our first anime was Ojamajo Do Re Mi, like it wasn't Sailor Moon or anything like that. So like I was watching like obscure stuff, but then also really enjoying the art and wanting to draw like the way that I saw on the things that I liked. And our mom was very much like, because we didn't have cable TV, so it was like, what are the kids into, and what am I going to give them that's going to be like productive?
Yeah.
And so when we were little, there are like pictures of us drawing with crayons in the garage, and like we had like this huge cabinet of just like recycled art supplies that she collected for us.
That's cool.
So like we've always been like encouraged by our family to draw because it's like something that we liked, and they were like, this is a very productive thing. And then we would get like magazines as kids. This is like my origin story of like I want to be an artist. We would get magazines as kids, and there used to be like this old Nickelodeon magazine, and they once had like a contest of like letting
I
kids...
remember they would have the contests that used to be in like the Nickelodeon, like all those things.
Yes. Yeah. And they would like, some of the animators would like make shows based on like the entries. I was a second place winner when I was in the 2nd grade, and my mom just recently found one of the prizes while she was cleaning out one of her rooms. But like that was kind of the moment my mom cites back to as like, okay, they might be onto something with this art thing, because why are you 7 years old and winning a contest?
What did they give you for 2nd place? Was it at least worthwhile? I used to want to get slimed so bad.
I just got like a huge like art kit. They gave me like they sent me like, it was nice. Like they sent me this really nice kit of like 100+ colored pencils, different paints, like all this stuff. And basically it was just like, my prize was keep drawing. And I said, yay,
and it
okay.
came in like this,
I'm just 7-year-old
nice
you. That's dope.
Case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Mine, I feel like starts later, because that was like around like 2nd grade. I feel like for me, it wasn't until we moved from, we're kind of from all over. Born and raised in Washington, like Seattle area. We moved to New Hampshire. And
we're in New Hampshire. Time out.
Moved.
Hold up. Because I'm from Massachusetts and I've lived in New Hampshire too. So I got to know, where in New Hampshire?
New London, New Hampshire.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm from like the Portsmouth
really
area.
Yeah, it was very cliquey. It was very like small town. Like if you want to go to the grocery store, you have to drive 45 minutes.
Oh yeah,
like,
you're in like the woods. Those are like the
that.
sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like we came into this community where there already was the girl who was really good at art. So like if you come in like, well, she's the artist, so you can't be the artist. So it's kind of like that, like breaking into that, and it was like awkward. So I think we were good at like artwork at the time, but it was weird to break into that and like kind of feel discouraged. Like, well, she's known for art, and I'm the new kid, so I can't. It's weird.
There's 7 kids in the school, and only one person can touch the colored pencils.
It was like that. Our graduating class was like 80 kids.
Yeah, I guess mine was like that too, but yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. And then we moved to South Carolina, and now our graduating class was like 400+ kids. And
I didn't know anyone except for like 2 people, and one of them was my next door neighbor.
Yeah. And we're still friends to this day. Like I was texting him today, so yeah. Shout out Sam, and because I know he's gonna watch this.
Shout out Sam, hold it down.
Yeah, let's go. Not talking about Sam anymore. When we came down here, I felt like the 3 of us, me, Caroline, and our other sister, Victoria, we were kind of shy. And so we each kind of fell into like our own, like, what am I doing to keep myself company and like, I don't know, keep myself entertained, not be sad because I just moved to this new place and not have any friends.
Yeah.
So for me, I was drawing a lot, and I was drawing a lot of My Little Pony. And so my origin story, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, I was watching that a lot. I got really into drawing it, and it kind of like, and I was posting it online and had like 5,000+ followers on like the early days of Instagram, and like people commissioning me and stuff. And I was just a teenager, and I was like, okay, like people
that's a big
like
deal
what I'm
too.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, for Caroline, it was around like second grade. For me, it was like middle school, high school when I was drawing and posting it, and people were actually responding to it and saying like, you're pretty good at this. So then later on, Caroline, like we all went to Savannah College of Art and Design. Caroline went for comics, but I went for illustration. And I kind of came out of it not sure exactly what I was going to do with that. I knew I liked to draw like cute, girly, colorful things.
Yeah.
Caroline gets the Monster High job. And then like a couple issues into it, they were like, we need a new colorist. And Caroline was like, well, I know
I
someone.
happen to know somebody.
It is good at
Yeah, so like I was like, Catherine, do you want to test for this? Do you want to test to color Monster High? She said, do I want to test to color Monster High? So like I sent the like test to a bunch of different people, like just friends that I knew and like people I graduated with. So I was like, Catherine, you have like a fair chance, like it's not nepotism, okay? And her colors were most beloved out of everyone. And so
Mattel liked
it's
it the
exciting
best.
to me. It's exciting to me because it's like I am colorblind and I don't like coloring. So like even if I did have the opportunity to color, I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And so like I am excited that I get to work with someone who I know, even through my colorblind eyes, has beautiful colors. But then also is my sister, so like I can yell at her and tell her what to do. Which like we've
Absolutely.
done a lot when working on Monster High is like I'll text her and I'll be like, if you don't color this way, then I'm not gonna finish it, and we're gonna
She
like
threatens
tank.
me.
And we're
Yeah.
both getting fired.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we're
we're
both
both
getting
gonna get fired.
And our career is done. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All because
we
you didn't
work-
do what I asked you to do.
Oh, the
Yeah.
siblings are
No,
coming
it
out.
is like that. It is like that because I don't remember what issue it was, but she drew a character that was like a background character, not important. And she said, this is a Korean dragon. Look up the folklore, look up the ancient art, color it
She's in
according
one panel.
to. Yeah, it's in one panel and it's like a background character. And she's
I feel like
Yeah.
it needs a
"You don't do it
spin-off at
this
some
way?"
point.
Yeah. And
That-
also like Catherine will be coloring like inks that like I send her. And it's like we're the kind of people where we're working out until like 6 a.m. and then going to bed because we're like night owls. She'll be like, hey Caroline, can you come here for a second and look at this? What did you draw? And I'll be like, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I have
was
no idea.
delirious.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
I just kind of just went off on my own. Like, who knows?
It's like
I'd be like,
some
I don't remember
insane,
doing
like
this.
everything looks great on the page, and then all of a sudden, Frankie Stein's arm is like 5 times too long, and her elbow is like bent the wrong way. And I'm like, Caroline, what is this? She's like,
She'll be like, can you come here and fix this before anyone slaughters me for coloring it this way?
She's like,
You're
that's
like,
when
I
I
why
should have
did
gone to
you-
bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, that's nice because you
So-
have the brutal honesty. Like you can be brutally honest with your siblings. It's like because it's
Yeah,
almost
we're
kind
not
of
gonna
like
think
you
twice
know,
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does your other sister draw as well?
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
She's really good, and we're her #1 fans.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to go get her. Hold on.
Do it. Yeah.
She's working on a painting of the Death Star right now from Star Wars, and it's really good.
All my Star Wars
Okay.
Legos are on that
Oh.
side. I've got the Death Star and everything, so that's cool as shit. Like, first
Yeah,
of all,
it's really
I
good.
love-
It's
yeah.
really gorgeous.
I need you guys to
Like
see it.
there's
I need to
Rogue One.
hype her up because she's amazing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, while you get her, we need to know, Caroline, how did you get into Supernatural then? Because I know obviously you guys got the tattoos, but it's crazy because Catherine hasn't finished it, and she was like, "Yeah, we'll go get it." Like, how did you
Yeah.
guys get into Supernatural then?
So like when we were in, I think we were like, God, when did it start?
2005.
2005.
Okay. So like when Netflix first got it and they had like a couple seasons, we were like very early Netflix people, like when they still sent you DVDs.
I remember getting the DVDs. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
the same way. Yeah.
And so like my dad is the reason I like horror movies. And like I will watch any horror movie with him and he'll come home and give me a list and I'll be like, okay, we're watching this, this, and this. Our dad originally watched it with Catherine when we were like 13-ish.
Okay,
And then
I have a sister.
I have another sister.
That's
We
Victoria.
heard you're painting an exquisite Death Star right now when
Okay,
you're
wait,
also
hold
oh,
on.
she can't hear.
Yeah, she can't hear.
You
You want
stole
this?
both
Sure.
earbuds. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Which ear?
Did you hear?
Hi.
We were just talking about how we asked if you were also an artist, since you guys triplets, like everyone getting into art, and she said you were painting the Death Star and everything. So you're the most talented, is what I've heard from the group.
Yeah, she's the most talented. This
That is amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Sorry,
It's
the lighting.
upside
Isn't it
down.
upside down? I'm sorry.
How could you?
Get it right.
That's
Beautiful.
I'm a
That's
bad
amazing.
sister.
So what do you do with your
Not
art? Like if
funny.
people wanted to buy the art, where could they go to find it?
Okay, I'm on Instagram, and in college I took a lot of commissions. It just became a lot of work as I got closer to graduation. Yeah, but I look gross. I'm like all greasy.
No, it's okay.
Work. Okay. But now I just post on Instagram, and I'm just working to like build up my portfolio more. I was in a mentorship for a little while just to work on my speed, because that's always been kind of a problem with me.
Yeah.
I like to really take my time on stuff. But my focus in that mentorship, it was in women in animation. I really love
Oh, that's
background painting. So every time I have free time, just like working on building up personal projects, and I love sci-fi, so sci-fi background paintings is my jam.
That
That's
is-
awesome. Well, we'll definitely put your handle in the
Yeah,
the
we'll
show
have to throw
notes
it in
because
there
I want to
'cause
check out your
that is
website as
dope.
well. But yeah, people don't realize like I like copy Disney stuff and draw it on my kids' dressers and on the bathroom, you know, in our house and whatnot.
flawed.
And people were like, "Why don't you sell this?" Because it took me 10,000 hours to do this dresser.
And the mouse
Right.
wheels.
Yeah.
So people don't understand how long. So that's very interesting that you say that like as a professional artist that you have to work on your speed, because that's not something
Yeah.
that people who have never
would-
drawn
yeah, 'cause I
stick
know-
figure would think of.
Yeah, that was like my biggest, when I entered that mentorship, that was like the biggest thing I wanted to tackle. So I was doing, and I think they're on my portfolio website as well, speed paintings, I was calling them, but I would go on the website Shot Deck and pick a clip from a screenshot or a frame from a film that I really liked, and then I would time myself. Usually I would like pick an album that I was listening to, which are usually between like 35 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
and I would paint for the entire album until the last song, and then wherever I stopped I finished, and then I would
That's kind of dope.
upload
That's
it.
a cool idea,
really
like
cool.
for exercise and stuff. And I know Caroline's talked about. She was just telling us horror. Your sci-fi. Do you have a favorite science? Like, what's your favorite movie of all time? Then, if you have, that's the hardest thing anybody asks, because me,
I don't know if,
I don't know.
I don't know if it's my favorite of all time, but one movie where the visuals I feel like have inspired me the most, and this might be a kind of basic answer to be like, I love sci-fi, and then say Blade Runner.
I knew you were going to
But
say
I
that.
Beautiful, yeah.
yeah, I love Blade Runner, especially 2049.
Yeah. That was.
I don't know.
that was
I've never seen
Harrison
Blade
Ford.
Runner.
Yeah,
Or no,
I
Harrison
really,
Ford is on
I
Ryan
really-
Gosling. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the pacing in that movie, but I really just love the visuals. First time I ever watched it was in college, like in my dorm by myself.
Yeah.
I had no roommate. I just turned it up really loud and turned all the lights out, and it became a big inspiration for like the direction I take my personal art ever since I watched that.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to like throw your stuff in there as well. We were talking.
Yay.
Are you into Supernatural? I know you're like hunched over. I'm sorry, Kat.
Trying to get away from your work.
No, it's okay. I just got home from I work full time in retail, just to
She's
pay
a
off.
Clinique representative.
Yeah, I'm the Clinique representative. At
One
Ulta,
step
so I
away
just
from
got
the
home from-
Avon lady.
Right.
Like the Mary
I
Kay
don't go door to
stickers.
door. I don't go door to door. But I just got home from like a 9-hour
Wait,
shift,
hold on.
so-
I'm interjecting. We were watching, and Victoria wasn't there because she was working Clinique that day, but we were watching Edward Scissorhands, and it was like the Avon lady. We were like, there's Victoria.
That's cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
When
that's-
she said Avon, that's immediately where my mind goes, is that movie.
With scissor hands.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, they're always so creepy.
Um,
Come to your door and stuff. God. I don't even
I just
My ring's Avon
experienced
from the 70s.
supernatural
Oh my
things.
God, that's
My
good.
grandma sold it.
That's because Lauren,
It's my
you were
grandma's ring.
alive in like.
No,
she,
I was
she
not
gave that to you
alive
when
in the
you came over
70s
from
or
Ellis
60s.
Island. We know. All right.
So
No,
you
I've
know,
seen
look at
people
the cute little
collect
ring.
like the Avon perfume bottles from like the 70s
Yeah,
and
those are
80s.
We have a
cool.
bunch of them still from my grandma.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
cool.
it's like a lady, and you, like you
For
take her
grandma.
top, like you don't take her top off. You take. They were my grandma's.
Uh-huh.
Matt's
Long
lying to me 'cause
story
I'm older.
short, Victoria doesn't watch Supernatural unless it's
Yeah,
on TV and Catherine and I are in the room.
I experience it
So
through
she's adjacent.
the
but
eyes
she's
of my
not.
sisters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I was asking because I know like they've got the matching tattoos and stuff. So I was like, is this something you guys all have? Because that's dope. Like if that's the case.
We have
I
other
don't
matching
have
tattoos.
Yeah.
But
We do have
I
other
saw an orca on you a
I've
second
been
ago.
looking.
so
I have
Oh,
a
yeah,
hot
mini
dog
orca.
tattoo, and I've been trying to get Lauren to get
I love
matching as well,
orcas.
and she won't
The
ever get
hot
the hot
dog is
dog.
awesome.
So we
Victoria,
have
you would get a hot
Hot
dog.
dogs.
I have a hot
love
dog
hot
tattoo. She won't
dogs.
get it. Yes. See, it's a Costco hot dog I got tattooed. I'm a simple
Yeah,
guy.
get a
That's
hot dog.
dope.
I would
This
get
is-
that. Or a
but-
pickle.
So back to like obviously movies. I gotta know then, Caroline. What's
Mhm.
you were talking about horror? What is your go-to horror movie then?
So I would say it's not that I watch it all the time, but I would say that probably my favorite of all time is American Werewolf in London.
That movie's so
Um,
good. It is so the way he
just-
transforms
it's-
and everything is so
Yeah.
well done.
And
too.
Frank
Creepy.
Oz, just Frank
Yes.
Oz being there. I'm like, hey. Other ones that I like, we're gonna be on a show with Ben Kahn, who's one of the writers for Monster High.
Yeah.
We've had him
He-
on.
yeah, we've had him
Yeah.
on. Ben's awesome. He's
Yeah,
he's
so
really good
they're
people.
doing they have a podcast called Progressively Horrified.
Yeah. He was
Oh,
telling us about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Catherine and I are gonna be on it like next month talking about a movie called Nori the Curse, and it's like a Japanese found footage movie. I forced like everyone in my house to watch it.
We made Victoria watch it, and when it was over,
Yeah.
we were like, how'd you like the movie? She said, it feels like something that I shouldn't be allowed to watch.
Yeah, I felt like
That
I
I,
wasn't allowed
she's
to
like, I
watch it.
stumbled upon it by accident, and now I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And then
Like, it's
So it
so
was
that
like
one,
a found footage.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
really
felt
good.
like, you know how
Hold on.
police will
What's the
get
name?
a
I need
bunch
the
of-
name.
It's called Nori the Curse. It's spelled Noroi.
So it looks
It's
like
on
body
Shudder
cam
if you-
footage or
Nice.
something. You were saying like police.
It's like a little bit of everything.
Well,
So like
Like,
they have
the
like body
feeling
cam
of
footage,
watching it.
and then they also have
Mhm.
like actual clips for the movie. They like staged like variety shows and stuff, and they'll like put in
And
clips
it's
from that.
supposed to also be like through the perspective of a filmmaker. So he was trying to make this documentary about this curse and like these weird things that were going on.
It
So-
felt like I was watching evidence of a crime on a VHS tape.
And so yeah, so Caroline and
I don't think I'm supposed to watch this.
Caroline and I also Caroline's big, like probably the biggest horror buff, but I love horror as well, and I love watching it with Caroline. We'll be like, let's put on a movie, and it's always a horror movie. So Victoria the other day was like, I want to watch a movie with you guys. What are we gonna watch? Caroline said, well, we haven't seen Bring Her Back yet. Do you guys know that one?
That movie left me. I watched. Okay, the ending of that movie. I like turned. It ended. I had walked outside and just walked up the street and was, what the hell just happened? The ending of that movie really messed me up. And I didn't see it in theaters. I didn't really know A24 horror. It's really going to be good, so I went in kind of blind. Yeah, the ending of that was bleak. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The visuals in
yeah.
that were insane.
It really
So
was.
we were
And
yeah.
at the end of the movie, we said, Victoria, what did you think of the movie? And she said, I'm happy to be included.
I'm happy you guys invited me.
Thanks for
She
the
said,
invite.
that's
thank you
kinda
for
like
inviting me to watch a movie.
That's kind of like for me and Caroline with supernatural and with horror. That's kind of the dynamic there. Is like Caroline and I are like, let's go, and Victoria's like, well, thanks for letting me come along.
That's kind of like
That
Lauren
was
and
a
I.
movie.
Lauren was never into horror, and then horror is one of my favorites. Like growing up, I started on Nightmare on Elm Street when I was way too
I
young
watched
to be
the
watching those
basics like
movies.
Scream,
but then I got her to
pop culture
watch
horror.
like Screamboat, which B-rated movies. I love.
Screamboat was hilarious. I actually
so
really
now she's
enjoyed
watching
it.
like the B-rated movies, and she's gotten into horror as well.
My
and that's
13-year-olds got into it around when he started forcing me to, and like I would have had like when I started watching Walking Dead in like 2011, I had nightmares, and like she never gets nightmares for anything. So like I stopped watching Walking Dead and then came back 3 months later, and but no, Brielle, like nothing scares her. My oldest was never interested in horror, but I get less scared now. I don't have nightmares anymore. But the Screamboat was just hilarious.
I love camp, and I'm also the kind of person where it's like, if I'm falling asleep and I need a podcast to listen to when I'm falling asleep, it's like something about like demonic possession or home invasions, and I'm like, I feel so at peace right now. And like sometimes Catherine will be playing it out loud when she's falling asleep, and I'm like, we are of the same mind.
Nice.
This is so beautiful.
Thank you.
She was like, I don't want to just walk away.
No, I get it completely.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming in, and that painting was gorgeous.
Yeah,
she's amazing, and she needs to.
I think that's gonna. Yeah, I think that's gonna boost her confidence.
Dope.
With
Absolutely
art and everything
good.
Because she.
It's a good.
She needs people to see what she's doing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
I know it's
horror,
tough as an artist, but
campy.
going into horror, like I would fall asleep. The Supernatural kind of became my fall asleep thing. I fall when it's Halloween. I love putting on those just terrible ones, or I'll go on Shudder and do the same.
He made me watch Leprechaun this year. That was rough.
That movie's so
we used to like. So I think Caroline mentioned like our dad was the one who started watching Supernatural first, and then I'm like 11, and I'm like, hey, what's this? I sit down, I'm watching it, and then
I can't fathom
like high school on.
First
Caroline
5 seasons were completely way darker too.
Yeah. So it was also like that with horror. It would be I just remembered this, but I was going to say something else. Tremors was one that he would put on.
I was wearing my Tremors shirt yesterday.
Tremors is not horror, but it's good, campy, gory fun.
Yeah, it's worms. Like you touch the ground and they come off the vibrations and they just like turn the place up. The movie rocks.
The kid on the pogo stick.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
The other one when we were little kids, and I remember like my mom. I think she thought we were actually scared, and I don't remember being scared. I remember thinking this is a funny thing to do, and we're like little kids, so we watched Chucky, like Child's Play. And we had these Madeline dolls that talked when you press their hands.
Yeah.
And so after the movie was over, we were like, whoa, well, that doll was evil. So like, think about this. What if these dolls were evil? And we tied them up and we had a bunk bed and we like strung them up on the bunk bed and we like left them there. And it's like all three of them like tied up together. And my mom found it and she was like, what's going on here? Like,
you're missing a key component.
Like to our dad, did you let them watch the scary movie? I don't remember being scared of dolls. I just remember thinking this is a funny thing to do.
You're missing a key component. We had wiffle ball bats and we beat them. And my brother had no idea what was going on. And he came into the triplets room and he was like, hey, what are you guys doing? Looks like fun. And he joined us.
It's like a scene from
And so
Space.
like that's also
how a doll
origin
becomes
story,
haunted, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that was the haunted doll's origin story.
That was
ever
our
since that
origin
day
story with horror movies. That was Madeline, the 3 Madeline dolls. Identical 3 Madeline dolls. Just
and I know we had like our little children's bathrobes and we used the ties from that to tie them up. So I know that was the rope. Yeah, and then we had the wiffle ball bats. Yeah, I remember it. And I remember not being scared.
Thanks, Dad, for introducing us to so much great media.
At such a great young age.
So funny. Like,
and now we have supernatural tattoos. Thank you, Dad.
Meanwhile, my dad last Christmas, he's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, I want this Stephen King specific series. And he's like, I'm not buying you Stephen King. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Heavens,
Get me what you want.
I bought my dad Stephen King for Christmas.
I also want to give our mom some credit too, but this is later on. My mom thinks certain things that objectively are not funny are really funny. So the movie Misery, like that's the funniest movie in the whole world. And
Kathy Bates is amazing.
It's like, she's amazing. it's one of my favorite movies. And we watch it together and just like laugh at it. Like we're like, this is so funny. Like when she says he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car, we're like, this is the best movie ever. My dad doesn't like that movie. He won't watch it with us. But I have to give her some credit because she'll also watch like crazy things and be like, this is great.
I'm really into this. This is dope.
See, my mom is
So-
because we'll be talking about something. She's like, "You guys are watching Doctor Who?" We're like, "Yeah, we just started. This is like 2009." And she's like, "I've been watching that since the 60s." And I was like, "Well, you never told us." She was like a closeted geek this her whole life and never told us.
Wasn't.
We were at MegaCon and she was talking about One Piece. And my oldest looks at her and she's like, "Grandma, you watch One Piece?" She's like, "Oh yeah. Do you?" Like she didn't tell anybody.
That is fun.
That's so cool. She's so cool for
Like,
that.
It's just hilarious because she tried to force me to watch Star Wars when I was like in middle school and I wasn't having it. I got into it years later. Now I love it, but I think maybe when we said no to that, she's like, "I'll just keep all this to myself."
Nerds.
But I got
Our
my mom
mom
actually into
is, like-
Supernatural.
Oh my gosh, I wish
Oh,
our
I
mom
tried.
like
I-
opened the
she just-
floodgates today when she asked Catherine, like, what are we going to be talking
She
about?
asked me one question. She was like, "Oh, are there religious themes in this?" And I was like, "Oh,
You could say
Mom,
that.
good question."
Well,
So I give her a full rundown on the show, and then I just keep talking. She is rewatching Gilmore Girls right now, and Jared Padalecki plays
Yo,
Dean in
Dean,
Gilmore Girls.
yes.
Right.
So she was like, "Which one is Sam? Is that Dean?" And I was like, "What are you trying to say to me right now?" She meant like
Are you saying their
the
names?
actor who
I'm
plays
confused.
Dean plays Sam in Supernatural, and I'm like, "You're confusing me, Mom." But yeah, she asked me like one question, and then I talked to her about it, and that was today. I talked to her about it for like 2 hours, just like
And your mom
nonstop.
She was
And then
like-
she's like,
She's
"Oh,
nice. She's
what?"
like, I'll listen because you're excited and passionate about something, but at this point, I have no idea what's going on. And
Mhm.
Catherine's like ranting
just
about
going for the
Eve being like
Yeah.
wasted potential.
She was, man. She should have been a bigger plot point that season. 100%. She should have come back. Come on, man. This is Eve.
She should have
Mother of
lasted way
monsters.
longer. Like they should have I feel like they should have introduced her at the end of that season because she was at the end of that season. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And then they
Yeah.
should have kept her on for season 7.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
appreciate
I
a
mean,
good
one
rant.
shot of Whiskey Phoenix Ash and she's done for. It's like,
And she's
Really?
that
It's
made me
kind of
mad.
pathetic.
yeah.
Well,
It
it's just like
was.
when they
Meanwhile, we
kill
had 8
somebody of
million
importance
Amelias
off
last week.
screen, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Put some respect
Amelia
on
had
her
more
name.
screen time than Eve.
Oh,
Amelia should. I mean, nothing against the actors. Like she did a fine job, but like she was just not likable. I feel like from the get go. And I was confused because I don't think we were not supposed to like her. I feel like they just needed a parallel to Dean and Benny, and they needed Sam to have some sort of ridiculous reason for not looking for Dean, and that's what they came up
Amelia was a
It
ridiculous.
by the
wasn't
way-
a good enough
with.
reason.
Look at my cup. I got my mom got me the
Your
moose mug for
Griswold.
Christmas, so I figured it goes with my little Sam little person.
Oh, his
It
moves.
looks like
Yo, yeah.
the Clark
gosh.
Griswold mug. When
Yes.
he drinks
I
eggnog.
still need to
Yes.
know. So it's been bothering me, Moose. I met Mark Crowley. We went to MegaCon last year, and they were there. And I was talking to Mark Crowley, or Mark
Crowley.
Jesus Christ.
Mark Shepard.
Yes. Talking is hard. But he was telling me that I wasn't tall, and I'm like, yes, I am. And
He's
then
messing with you. He has such a
I know,
dry,
but now
dark
like
sense
in
of
my head,
humor.
I'm like,
I love him.
I'm 6'4", so is Jared. So I'm sitting there in my head, like, now I need to know. And I never cared about Sam. I never cared about Jared, but now I'm like, I need to know. Are we the same height or not?
Should have waited in
This
the
man-
line and made him like
this-
stand up
This
next
little
to
man, he just called me short, man. I've never like Sam Dean. She has a Dean pillow, for example, which I absolutely
My
cuddle with. When I come down
13-year-old
there,
wife
I cuddle up with
I
that pillow.
did-
Let's be honest.
did not buy it.
But do you guys have like a favorite, like who, Sam or Dean, first and foremost?
Okay. It's a tough question. I think for me personally, Dean. I think so like Catherine, her personality is the most like Sam. I wouldn't say that my personality is the most like Dean, but I think I would have to connect with Dean because if I'm saying that Catherine is Sam, then Dean's the one out there doing stupid shit and Sam's the one correcting him. And that would be me and Catherine. So
was gonna
that's
say,
what I would
yeah,
have to
I-
pick, but I
yeah.
think like my favorite character is probably Crowley.
I would definitely agree. I was a big hater of Rowena for a while, but now I would
When
die
it came
for
to
her
his
any
senses.
day of the week.
Yeah.
Anybody,
Yeah,
She's
I
kinda
like
that
Rowena.
I will
Yeah,
die
she
for her
is.
any day.
I liked her
Absolutely.
from the get-go. She's taking down the whorehouse.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah. Like,
For some reason I
tiny and
didn't. I
mighty.
was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to love her. And then by the end of the show, I'm like, yes, I love you. Just
she's
marry me now.
hilarious and adorable. And I love when they're like, for
Yeah.
Dean, like trying to get the market cane off of him. And she's like, I barely know the man. It was so accurate, but it was like a cheesy scene.
I also love
also
her,
in-
like,
Yeah.
her existing, like, to put Crowley in his place, like, to,
Yeah.
like, knock him down a peg. Like, I love that for her.
I'm forgetting to mention that I also love Meg and I also love Garth.
Mhm.
Okay, Garth isn't. Oh my God, Garth is the best. I would love.
so
I would watch an
important.
entire series of Garth just doing Garth things.
He needs
Whether-
a whole
Mhm.
series.
Spin-off,
Yeah,
like a
whether he's just
sitcom
like
with
a
him as a
werewolf or
dad.
whatever he's doing. Just like I would die. Like, he's amazing. Every episode he's in, and I know Catherine hasn't. Yeah, she hasn't because this happens
Fathers
later.
knows best
There's that
kind of
episode where he
show.
just goes and like saves the day when Sam and Dean are getting their asses whooped.
A hero's
all that
journey.
He's just
Yeah.
vibing all the time.
Garth is just that dude. DJ Qualls as
Yeah.
well is like the nicest human being on earth. On top of that, and I've just like kind of
And they
grown
wrote
up
the part
watching
for
in
him.
movies. Yeah, and so it's
So
just
awesome.
amazing. Him and Benny were both, and it's funny that those two are
yeah.
married in real life too. It's amazing.
Where
But those were like the two
So, because
best characters.
I just, like, recently got through I think Benny's in season 8, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I
the
just
good
recently
flashbacks.
got through. Yes, I just recently got through season 8, and I only kind of, like, remembered Benny a little bit. Rewatching it this time, I love Benny. I love
He's
his
the
character,
best.
and then that made the Amelia plot worse because I was like, this
Yeah.
right here is very, very strong. But
Mhm.
then, like, on the flip side, we have Amelia with "Catch Me, Richard" and like the daylight
I'm never gonna
hazy
be able to
blur
hear that.
filter
Mhm.
and the like dead wife flashbacks, and I'm like, I don't care about this. Just like put Benny in here, and it's a great season. Like,
Yeah.
so I felt like Benny is such a strong character, and
Agreed.
they just like season 8. Coming off of season 7, people don't like season 7. Apparently,
I
was-
didn't mind
Little
season 7.
Leviathan.
I don't mind that one. Season
Yeah,
12 is
I like season 7.
I
Just
really
wait,
like
like-
how
That's
season
where I-
7 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
And I always say that to you, Catherine. I'm like, oh yeah, when they
Mhm.
play Blackwater.
Mhm.
And you were like, how do you remember that after like not having rewatched this for like many years? And you just say, oh yeah, I like when they play Blackwater.
The worst part about season 7 for
Supernatural,
me was
That's
that Bobby
amazing.
died, because
yeah.
I love Bobby, and I think Bobby is one of my favorite characters because he's just a grumpy old man. And I like the episodes they gave him, like showing his past and all his trauma and his baggage and everything. And it was good that they like focused on him. Like the episode Weekend at Bobby's,
Oh,
one of
that's
my favorite
fantastic.
episodes
Yes.
Yeah.
in the whole show.
That one's directed by Jensen, I think.
Oh, really? That's so
I'm pretty
cool.
sure I can fact check it before I'll fact check it while you continue the
Yeah.
story.
That's so cool. I felt like coming off of some of those episodes in season 7 and then going into season 8 with like Amelia, I was like, this is a totally different show. I don't know what I'm watching right now. And I just finished season 8, so I'm about to start season 9, and I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't remember what happens.
Oh, okay. I won't
feel that.
refresh your
Like I said,
recollection, though.
just as once you get to season 12, you can just skip season 12 altogether.
Yeah.
Nothing of importance happens. That's my least favorite.
Every
everybody hates
season
on
has
seven.
good episodes, though. Even season 12 has
Yeah.
some good episodes. Yes, this one is directed by Jensen Ackles, written by
Is
Andrew
season
Dobbs and
12
Daniel
the one
Lefferts.
where Mary comes back?
Yeah,
the
because that's the
Men of
version of
Letters.
letters. Ugh. The
Okay, I
worst.
don't like the Men of Letters plot, like in
Thank you.
general.
Thank
I
you,
like
just
when
wait.
I don't know if this is controversial take or not, but I like when they're like on the road, like staying in seedy motels and like
No,
living in
those are the best.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then when
want
they
them to
get
just
that
be-
like bunker, I don't care. Why
You're
are
not
we here all the
squatters
time?
anymore, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Well,
have
back to it.
resources now.
Before they
I
had
don't want them to
Bobby's,
have
though.
that.
I feel like they
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah, but even Bobby's was
Sure,
like a
but I think it
legit,
was but I think it was production cost is what I think it was, because it's
Oh.
less hotel rooms they have to create and everything,
yeah,
and
then
it's
they-
just less
True.
work and all that. And it's like they're making all these episodes in 8 days, and these are 45-minute episodes, and there's
nuts, dude.
20 up to 23 episodes a season.
can't have
But
nothing.
I never hated the Men in Letters, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. But I loved, the one guy, Mick. Like, I felt like that was another character that was just like, ugh, just gone too soon. And I thought he was in more than I remembered. And on my last rewatch, I was like, wow, they really didn't keep him around long at all.
Great spoiler alert. God dang, man. Like, come on.
What's there was an angel that like Castiel's friends with, and
Mandriel?
no,
The wiener dog guy?
I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
The wiener dog.
it's the one.
Alfie.
It's not Alfie. He's like tall and handsome, and he dies like 2 episodes later, and I don't remember his name because he was so cool, and they killed him off right away. So that's why I don't remember
My
his name.
issue and my beef is they kill off like all the good characters so unceremoniously. Like Bobby kind of dies, and then
I mean, like, I'm not spoiling it for Catherine, but like the way it ends.
Yeah. So like,
That was horrendous.
You get there,
Not
you
supposed
can
to happen.
technically get to the end of the show
COVID
without
ruined
finishing it. If you just stop that episode before the actual finale, there you go.
My rewatches,
Then
I
you're
do that.
fine.
I don't
That's
rewatch the finale.
the way the
I
show
just
ends
go
for
straight
me,
back to
and
the
then
pilot.
yeah, they kill
Catherine,
off
are
like
you taking
another.
notes?
No, I'm looking up who the angel that I'm talking about is.
Oh, okay.
because-
Oh. And
Do you remember around what season it was? Because now I feel like I want to figure it out.
he was tall and
I don't
handsome.
know.
And that's all I know.
Tall, handsome.
He was
Wasn't
tall
it-
and handsome.
Tall, handsome, and really cool and dead.
And cool. And dead.
And dead.
Well, there was Sebastian Roche, but it wasn't the guy that unsunk the Titanic, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Okay. I can only remember his real name, Sebastian Roche. What was his
Yeah, it's him.
angel name?
And I was like,
I know
this
who
is-
you're
I don't
talking
know.
about. I don't remember his name though. Yeah, the guy who sunk the Titanic.
You guys are making me feel very validated right now because you also can't remember his name. And
I know
thought he
exactly
was
who
a
you're
big
talking
fan.
about.
I
dude.
know who you're talking about. Yeah, I just can't think of his
Is it
name at
Rasmus?
all.
I know exactly who you're talking about because I also was like, oh, damn, that's a cool character.
And I thought
then
he was
bye.
around for longer, and he's not. It's the same with Benny. I thought Benny,
Yeah,
like,
it's the same
my-
Benny, I thought was around for like a few seasons.
Balthazar?
He's only really around.
Balthazar,
like
yes.
one or
I
two.
literally just
Balthazar,
said it,
yes.
Yes.
And his
That's right.
birthday is
Yeah.
August 4th. That's my birthday. Not the same year. He's older than me, Matthew. So keep
sure
your
about
comments
that?
to yourself.
Lauren
did,
was
I loved
actually
him. He
around
was
the
so
day the Bible was
funny.
written.
So he's me and Metatron were there. That's true.
God, I hate Metatron. Nobody likes you,
I hate
Booster.
Metatron. I just got to Metatron in like season 8, and he came on. Am I allowed to
Only
swear
gets
on
worse.
here?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I looked at Caroline, he's a fucking nerd. Get this guy out of here.
He
I
is,
am
and he only
a
gets
nerd.
worse. Good news. He does get progressively worse.
Oh,
and
I
worse
know.
and
Yeah.
worse.
What's interesting
Mhm.
about
And you
his
have a lot
character-
more time with him than you do with
You spend
Balthazar.
Yes.
yeah, or Benny.
So what's interesting though about Metatron is Metatron got a redemption and everybody still hates him. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
It wasn't quite
good
the
enough to
redemption, then,
sacrifice-
was it?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I
You
wonder
tried.
if
Maybe
they
there is no
thought we were
redemption.
gonna think it was.
Not
Not
for
everybody does
Metatron.
get redeemed though. At the same time, and especially not that jackass. The dude was the worst, man. He was responsible for
killed
like all of
Dean.
their problems. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He did, but that's how I feel. So we got that. We have your favorite side characters, and it's hard because I can't pick like a favorite season. But do you have a favorite season, Catherine, up to the point that you've seen? And then Caroline, out of all of the seasons, do you have one that like just hits for you?
That's a hard question.
I
don't
think
even know if
season
I can
14 's
answer
That
mine.
is a
That is
really
one.
tough question.
I feel like 4 is 4 when they do French Mistake.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say 4. I feel like
Yeah,
there are a lot of really good episodes in 4.
You forget how
Um,
good like early on and how different it is too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I've heard people that will stop after the end of season 5. Like after Swan Song, they're like, "That's all Kripke intended,
Yeah.
so that's all
Well,
I'll
that's
watch."
that's all he intended to do. Like,
I just
and that was how it was supposed. Like, he planned it to end that way. But I felt like rewatching it at the end of season 5, he left it kind of open ended with Michael and Lucifer not being like vanquished; they're
Mhm.
just in hell. So it felt like he kind of left it for the other writers to continue it if they wanted to, which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
Obviously, seasons 1 through 5 are like the strongest.
I think
and
season
the
2
best
is
ones
probably
to
my
me.
favorite.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Season 2.
Season 2 is the one that I rewatched the most, so it has to be my favorite.
Like that's when
That's-
Dean's the angriest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one. I think that's the angstiest season, but also you got some real bangers in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got Tall Tales in there. You got Everybody Loves a Clown.
So good. Oh, that
Right,
one's
but like those
crazy.
clown episodes are always so much fun. Like at the
They
same
are.
time, they are
My
creepy.
poor
as
cousin
shit.
though skips them on all her rewatches. She can't do clowns.
Oh.
I was gonna wear my shirt that just has a picture of a clown on it, and it says "I eat children."
It's
Like
not
that was gonna be
Pennywise.
my outfit of the day, but like we were in Las Vegas when I bought that shirt, and I wore it to a bar, and I said to the bartender, "Hey, what do you think? What do you make of this?" And he was like, "Is that from It?" And I said, "No." And
No.
Just enjoy
Catherine
it.
said, "It's just." Catherine said to him, "It's just some fuck ass clown." That was gonna be my outfit of the day.
But like random, those are the best too, and I love
Yeah.
random shit, random because and that's why how could you never finish? I could never because I am so ADHD. I have to know how things end to the point where I get anxiety if I don't. So I'll sit there and sometimes like have to finish it, or we'll have to like whatever. So like the fact that you haven't yet, like
Well, I used to think that until
willpower,
Grey's Anatomy,
my
and I'm like,
God.
I can't keep watching this.
Okay,
I have to
come
stop
on.
watching
Grey's
this.
No,
Anatomy is shit.
like an ad for Grey's Anatomy. We watch MasterChef a lot. Like we rewatch
I love that
MasterChef.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Gordon Ramsay. So an ad for Grey's Anatomy comes on, and we're watching MasterChef with my mom, and my mom was like, "This is still on."
I
She
know.
watched like the
really
first few seasons of it.
Dr.
and,
Grey
like,
left. It's not even Grey's Anatomy anymore. She's
Whose
gone.
anatomy is
Whose
it?
anatomy
You
is
don't
it?
even know whose anatomy
Yeah.
it is.
Which
She's
I
gone.
guess
It's not
now it's
Grey.
just based on the book rather than on the character. It's no longer
a
like
book?
double meaning. Well, it's the book
Oh,
it's actually like anatomy.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was like, wait,
yeah.
this is off a book? Oh my
I
God.
think
dude,
you
no
even
kidding.
see them like carrying it around. I watched like the
George
first
R. R. Martin could
few
never.
seasons when it came out, and it was cute.
I
It
was gonna
funny.
say.
It was bad. No, it's
Oh
no.
my
I
God.
don't think it's like a book you read for fun. I think it's a book you read
Yeah.
for science and learning about the human body.
Or science
They're in the
book.
hospital,
Might
like
read it
carrying
for
around
fun.
like fun fiction reading. They're like, "I love this book."
Yeah.
Everyone's carrying it around.
Just
Grey's
cover to
Anatomy.
cover. Can't put it down. But so Kripke he was involved in season 6, and he was involved a little bit here and there. So, and I feel like people who stop watching, you just miss out on so many good episodes. But Kripke did go again on the Then and Now podcast recently, and he explained how he wanted season 5 to end if they were going to definitively end it. It was supposed to be Dean going to Lisa's, Lisa and him getting married, having another kid, and then Dean's supposed to go kiss that 6-month-old baby goodnight, and her name's Samantha, and as he leaves, there's blood on her forehead dripping from the
Oh my
ceiling.
God.
So that's
I
how
would've
it was
preferred
supposed to
Cinema.
end.
I really like that.
It is
I
good,
really
but then we
like
wouldn't
that.
have had Rowena, Charlie,
That's
Jack,
true.
like Benny, all
True.
these amazing characters we would have never met.
That's why, in my opinion, we're going to reboot the show.
We wouldn't have had like Crowley on the level that we have
Crowley,
him either.
right,
Because
yeah.
that was the other thing I rewatching it, like in 4 and 5, like Crowley's there, but he's not that important. And then later on, because
Yeah.
Mark Sheppard is so cool and he's like so good at playing that part. He has such like great charisma. We got such a good character out of those later seasons, like because they continued it. We got Crowley to the extent that we have him. So I was
And
thinking about that the
also,
other day when I was rewatching it. And
the way that he kind of gets along, because then you wouldn't have had Demon Dean and Crowley out there doing,
Howling at the
their
moon.
stuff. Yeah, like that was like the best. We didn't get enough Demon Dean first and foremost, but then also Rowena and the way everybody turns out to just be like friends too at the same time.
And
I
it
love
all
those
made
storylines.
sense. Like it wasn't like, well,
Yeah.
how did this happen? Like with the Crowley with the human blood, I feel like that made such a huge difference. And Rowena, as terrible of a mother as she was, losing a child will still change you. And like
Yeah.
she was, I think her whole life though, people were like against her. Like the witch's coven was like, she's too powerful, so they weakened her. And obviously, being murdered by Lucifer will really change how you look at things. And her and Sam like bonding because they had both been tortured by Lucifer was beautifully traumatic. And I love their bond. And I like her ending. I really did like her ending.
She was a badass at the end. She was.
Yeah,
It was.
I
I like that they had. See, the fact that they got to continue the show and then introduce these new characters, but then the show keeps going, so you have so much screen time to flesh out these characters. And so it's like, yes, I rewatched the first couple of seasons like over and over again, but when I rewatch the later seasons and I get to see these characters again, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that I have another favorite character.
Yeah.
even like this better because I'm revisiting it again and I'm watching it with new eyes as like an adult, as opposed to me watching it when I'm like 15.
11 years old and 15 years old. Yeah, like, oh my God.
See, I started it in 2017, have rewatched it multiple times since. So, or 2016 I started.
Everything's all the same. But I also miss the 40-minute episodes, like 23 episode seasons, because I feel like you're able to get more of that versus now shows are like 6 episodes, 30 minutes. And by the time you get started, it's also
or it's a movie, like
or something
and it takes them like 2 years to make one season.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm
so
happy that
I wonder who
Daredevil's
we're
actually
talking
coming back.
about.
Yeah.
I hate it.
2 seasons is being kind.
Yes. The fact you get 5 seasons in 9 years. But anyways, as we kind of do wrap up, where can people find you guys? Like, is Instagram the go-to platform for people to find all your artwork and everything like that? And if so, what is your guys' handles? We'll also make sure it's in the show notes.
Catherine, you
so
go.
for me, yeah, probably Instagram. I don't think I'm really active as much anywhere else. My handle is Kathy Earnshaw, like Wuthering Heights, but it's with a K.
Oh.
And I don't want to talk about the Emerald Fennell Wuthering Heights movie because
the one that's coming out with Margot Robbie, where she had to look for
Wuthering Heights.
That's not actually
Wuthering Heights.
Yes. Caroline, how about you?
Yeah, so for me, also Instagram. I tried to get into Twitter. It just didn't really happen. I'm not calling it X.
No, I'm not either.
My username is Carol Lime Time, so it's my name with an M instead of an N and then time, because rest in peace, Lime Red Bull. That's why I named it that.
You were the one that drank those. That's the one I can't get into. Like
the only person who drank them, so the only person who mourns them.
That's see me. I just found peach, but the vanilla berry again. Those are my go-tos. But because when I would see the green limes, I'm like, who the hell drinks these? I found the person. I now know the person. I have completed my quest. Me.
And what's your sister's Instagram?
It's spelled.
We don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to say it. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to spell it.
That's even better.
Or Lauren, yeah.
Should I spell it?
Should you spell it, Lauren? You're writing it down.
No, I'll spell it. I'll spell it.
I'm waiting. Yeah.
It's BIIKUTO. Do you want to? Oh, she told me.
No idea how
I would say Bikudo.
She closed her eyes and spelled her name with her eyes closed. She typed her name with her eyes closed. That's how she got it.
See, I was stupid.
Well, that's one way to get an Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit though. Thank you guys. I know, like, off the rails, we went everywhere, but really appreciate you guys hanging out with us, talking about comics and movies and some supernatural.
Any upcoming cons you guys might
do?
I don't know what we have planned next. Catherine and I are talking about tabling. So like we're in the like Atlanta area mostly. But also we go up to New York a lot. So we are doing a panel. Yeah, we are doing a panel at like a newer con. I don't have all the details yet. We were just asked by Opal, who did some of the Monster High covers, if we wanted to do a panel with her. That's going to be like in the New Jersey, New Yorkish area.
Oh, sick.
But like I'll be updating on my Instagram as I figure out more stuff. And then I know that Catherine and I want to do New York Comic Con again. So
I think we might be trying to get there as well. So we're going to be trying to get there because it's always my birthday weekend. So I've been trying to get up there.
When's your birthday?
The 15th. So it's like always right around that. Yeah.
That's like
so
really close to ours.
When is your watch?
It's November 6th. So
so
it's like
right
a couple weeks away.
Yeah. So like
birthday Comic-Con celebration.
And it's always like the Halloween season is also like the best season ever. No big deal, but that's my favorite time of year, hands down. So we'll have to see about that and plan something out if we
should go to the Jack Skellington restaurant or the Tim Burton restaurant. Sorry,
I want to go.
It's so cute. I mean, it's like Disney prices, so it's like a meal, but it's a meal with a show, and like Sally comes out and she's singing, and so it's all Beetlejuice themed and everything. It's so cute. Yes. I love it.
Caroline and I, when we were there for Comic-Con, we saw Beetlejuice on Broadway.
That's
we dressed up and everything.
Oh my god, it's so good really with fun. Alex Brightman. I
have not been to New York City proper. I grew up 3 hours away from there. Haven't been there. So hopefully this year we get up there, because I was supposed to go last year, but didn't work out.
I have a
So
friend who
this
lives in
year,
Brooklyn, so I have a free place to
yeah.
stay. That makes it a lot easier.
Yes.
That's forever away. I'll stay wherever. I don't care. I'll sleep on a floor. I've done it before.
You can
but
rent
yeah,
like a teeny tiny
I love
room
floors.
and like
I
share a
sleep
bathroom.
the
There's
best anywhere. I can fall asleep
there are
anywhere.
little cots you
Super
can
power.
rent in New York.
I know. I was looking with one of the other comic creators. He was found a closet for like $600, and we were going to do it,
There you
but
go.
we'll see each other
yeah.
hopefully then. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. And if you guys need us to push anything as well, just let us know. And if you guys just want to come back and chat movies, we're always welcome. So thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thank you for
so much
having us.
having us.
Of course.
It was really fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, we
And
love to yap.
I
And
could
that's what
yap all
podcasts
night.
are for.
Yeah, I could absolutely yap. That's exactly why we started one. But everybody
Our
else, you already know.
significant others don't want to hear all this.
Nobody cares about like anything that I have to say about anything that's nerd related. So I just talk to the ether, and that's why we do this.
Well, me and Caroline are lucky we just yap to each other.
See, you got that. There you go. Everybody else, make sure you subscribe, follow them wherever you can get it, and follow us wherever you get podcasts on social medias. Even though they're all dying, but I'm not starting a new social media podcast. So whichever ones are still left out there, find us.
And check out Kat's reviews of Monster High on nerdinitiative.com.
Yes, absolutely. Check those out. Nerdinitiative.com. Caroline won Best Artist. So go check those out for good reasons, because no big deal. Everybody else, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.